Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about a very important topic in Python. We will be discussing about file handling in this video. We will be seeing how we can read the data from a file, how we can write the data into the file, what are some important functions related to file handling like lseek, read lines, write, everything about file handling in this video we are going to discuss. So without doing further delay, let's get into this. As you can see guys, I'm in a PyCharm and let me write here lecture 28 because we all know that this is our lecture 28 in Python series. Now guys, first of all you should learn what is a file handling. Means we are going to read a file, we are also going to write into that particular file. So we are going to see everything about file handling, but you must know that before reading or writing you must have to open that particular file, right? If and only if you will open that particular file, then only you can write into that or you can read some data from that file. So we are going to see how we can open that particular file first. So guys, we have one function which is open. That function helps us to open a particular file. And we are going to discuss about that function first. So let's move to open function. Now guys, let me write here open and I'm going to tell you the syntax of this open function first. So open function take two parameters. The first is a file name, we can say path also. And the second function is a mode. And what is a mode? Guys, let's discuss about mode first. In Python, we have a lot of mode. We have a W mode, R plus, A. I'm going to discuss about some important modes you must know to learn file handling in a Python. So let me comment this thing and let me show you a mode. So guys, the first mode I'm going to tell you about W. This is a mode which we should use only and only when if you want to write the data into that particular file. Let's say you open a file and you want to add some data into that particular file, then you can open that particular file by using this particular mode. You can write here instead of mode W and that file will be open and you can only write into that particular file. You can't read the data from that file. But if you use a R mode, then that tell us that you can read the data from a file but you can't write into that. R means you want to read only and W means you want to write only. Now guys, we have a lot more modes. Let's say one other mode is RB, which means that if your file in binary format, then you can't read a file with R mode, but if you are using RB, then you can read a binary data also from a file. And if similarly we have WB, which means writing a binary data into that particular file. And guys, we have one more mode which is A, which means that you want to append the data. And we will be discussing about how it is different from W, because in both the cases we are writing a data into that particular file. But W do some other function and A do some other function. We are going to discuss about these things. And after that we have one more important mode which is R plus. It helps us to read and write the data at the same time. If we are using a W mode, then we can write only. But if we are using a R mode, then we can read only. But if we are using R plus, then we can read as well as write in that particular file. So I hope now you got an idea that what are the modes. Mode tell us that for what purpose you are opening that particular file. So now guys, I'm going to comment all these things and I'm going to show you how you can open that particular file. But before then, let me tell you two specialty about W mode. So this W mode have two specialty. The one is if that file is not exit and you want to open that particular file. Let's say I give a path this only, this directory, and I want that open that particular file, text file.txt. But you can see that if you can see all my files here, then I don't have this particular file in my directory. But if I am opening that particular file with a W mode, then it will see whether file exit or not. If file is not exit, then it will going to create that particular file first and then it will open. So you got an idea that if you are using a W mode, doesn't matter your file exit or not, it will going to create. And second specialty is if that file is having some data already in that file, you are having some data, then what will happen? It will going to delete that data. Delete all the data from a file and open the empty file. I hope this makes a sense. Let's say you have this file now. Let's say in directory you have this file and you have written some line of code. But if you are opening with the W mode, it will see first of all whether file exit or not. If it is exit, then it will open. But before that, it will delete all the data. Then it will open with the empty file. So now guys, we have seen what is the W mode and its specialties. Now guys, we all know that I don't have this particular file. So I'm going to create this file by using this mode only. So I'm going to say, let me write here file, which is a variable, which will be pointing to my file. And I will say open my function. And path, I'm not going to write here any path. I will say just a file name because I am already in my directory, and if I am in directory, then it will going to create all the files in this particular directory, right? If you want to create a file in another directory, then you have to copy that path and you have to paste that path here, right? So now, right now I want to create a file, text file .txt, and after that mode I will specify here w, which means that if file doesn't exist, then create that. So I know that that file doesn't exist, so it will going to create. And guys, we have done that. Now it will open that file and it will store that file in my file variable. But guys, how will I come to know that whether my file is exit, it's successfully created or not? So I will say that just use a try except block. So I will say try, and after that I will write this code in that try block. And once I have done that, and here I will print file created, and let me write here open as well. If file exit already open successfully. Alright guys, now guys, I have written this thing in try block. The reason is that if that file is giving me some error, let's say that that file is exit in this write mode, but if I use here read mode, and we all know that if I am using a read mode here, then if that file is not exit, then it will going to create me an error, right? It only happen in write mode, but if I am using another mode, then it will give me error because I don't have that particular file in my directory. So that try block will help me to identify the error, and it will not going to throw error to my compiler or interpreter. We have already seen what is try except block, how it handle the error. It is basically used for exception handling, and you can watch that particular video also. I have mentioned the link in the description as well as on the I button. So guys, it will going to give me an error if that particular file is not exit if I am opening in another mode, but if I am opening in write mode, then it will not going to give me an error. If it doesn't exit, then it will going to create. If it is exit, then we don't need to be worry about it, right? So after that I will say accept, and in that accept block I will say print some error occur. Alright guys, so let's run this code, and you guys can see that I got an output file created successfully, right? So if I see on my directory as well, and you can see that if you are able to see my directory, then you can see here I have a text file.txt. So let me open that file, and you guys can see that, let me make a size bigger, and you guys can see that here I have nothing. It open in an empty mode, right? So we can open only file if we are opening with the write mode, then it will all delete the data and it will open in an empty mode. Now guys, what I'm going to do, we have seen how we can open a file. Now we can read the data from that particular file. We can write into that file. So we will see how we can write our data into that particular file. So let's move to a write function. So now guys, I'm going to comment all these things, and I'm not going to comment, I will going to copy, and here I will write open a file, and I will comment it. Now I'm going to say how we can write a file. So I'm going to say writing into the file. Alright. So I will paste the code here as well because we want to work secure. We don't want to get an error. So it will throw an error in accept block if any error occur. And guys, one important thing before moving to a writing, we have one close function as well. If you're opening a file, then you must have to be close. So I can write a close function at the end of this try block, file.close. So it will close my file, right? When my task will be completed. Now guys, I'm going to comment this successfully print statement. And here I'm going to write some data into that particular file. So what I'm going to do, I will write some line into that particular file, text file.txt. So I have opened it with write mode, and if I open with W mode, then I can only write the data into that particular file. I can't read that, right? So I want to write some data. So let's say my data is hello, this is text file.txt. Alright, so this is my data, and I have stored that data in data variable. Now guys, for writing a data into a file, we have a write function. So I'm going to say write, and it will take a data, means all the words which you want to write. And guys, we can't access this write function because this function can only be accessed by this file variable which we have created while opening. So I will say file.write, and after that I will pass that data. Now guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you by running this code, and I will show you this empty file will have some lines which we have written here. Hello, this is text file.txt. And let me run this. And guys, you can see that I got nothing. And if I open that particular file, now you can see that I got a line which is saying that hello, this is a text file.txt. So we have written this line by using a Python program, and we have created this file. We have opened in write mode, and after that we have written this data. Alright guys, Now guys, one thing you should remember, this write function always return how many data you have written in that particular file. So if I just run again and let me print that also what it is going to return. So I will say here value and I will see print val. If I run again, you can see that we have got a 28, means we have written 28 letters in this file. Alright guys. Now one thing you must notice here that we written this line twice, right? Earlier also we executed this code and we written this line in that particular file, and again written the same code and executed, and but still we got the same line. So that is what the specialty of write. It delete the file, whatever it was present earlier, it deleted that and again it rewrite that particular data. But we have one more function I have discussed with you, that a, we have this a mode. Now what I am going to do, I am going to use instead of w, I am going to write here a. Means I am opening a file with the append mode. W means write and a means append. So if I am opening a file with append mode, then it will open that particular file in writing mode only, but it will not going to delete all the content. Now my file pointer write at on 29 location. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run this code again, and remember guys what I will be getting. I have executed again and it has written 28 characters, but if I see that particular file, you can see that guys, I go 2 times, right? Earlier it was this one, but it has opened in append mode, so my file pointer was here and it written same data again. So we can append the data like this. If next time I want that, let's say this time I want to print this is a new line, and here I am going to write /n, which means it will help me to create a new line. And if I run again, this time it written 19 characters, and if I open this file, you can see that I got a new line. So this is how you can write the data in that particular file by using append mode. So we have seen how we can write the data by using a write and append. We can also do with a binary, but not I am going to do here. You can do a binary also. Just it is easy to use here RB, and after that you can pass your binary data in that particular file. Now I am going to comment all these things, and I am going to move to another topic, which is a reading the data from a particular file. So let's move to a read function. Alright guys, so let me minimize it and I'm going to comment all these things. And guys, remember I have copied the data, so I'm going to paste here. Before that I'm going to write reading the data. So we have opened a file, but this time I'm not going to open a file with the writing mode. I will open a file with R mode, means reading mode. And now guys, once we know that we have opened that particular file, we have to close that. So file dot close. So I'm going to comment this line. Now guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the data from that particular file, and you know that we have this data in that particular file. Alright, so now if you want to read all the data from a file, then you have a one function which is a read. So I'm going to say read, and here I'm going to call this function. So I will say file dot read, and if I just call this function, it's going to read all the data, and I will store in a variable which is a data, and I will print that data. And guys, if I run this code, you guys can see that I got all the data which is present in that text file.txt. You can see that, right? So we can get all the data by using a read function, but we have some more function as well, which is a read lines, read line, and else. So many function we have in our read mode. I will comment these things, and this time I'm going to use a read line. Read line. And guys, read line function basically return the line, only a single line, where your current pointer was. So initially if I open a file, then my current pointer is at 0 location, and if I say data is equal to file.read line and print a data, now if I run this code, you can see that I got only the one line, first line. If my pointer was pointing at 0 location and it printed that particular whole line. If you are interested to get only single line, then you can use a read line. But if you want to get all the line one by one in a list, then you can use read lines. I'm going to run here read lines. So I'm going to copy this thing, and here I'm going to say read lines. Alright, and I'm going to paste that code here as well, but instead of read line, I'm going to use a read lines, and I will comment this thing. And guys, if I run this code now, you can see that I got a list. But remember, this is a one element and this is another element. We got two elements, and the reason is because we have only two lines right now. I hope now you got it, that how we can get line by line in a list by using a read lines. So this is how we can use a read line function, read lines function, and read function if you want to get a data. But the question arises here that you don't want to get a whole line and you don't want the whole data. You want some particular data. Let's say I want this hello world. So how you can do that? So well, we have some parameter also in this read method. So I'm going to comment these things and I will show you some variety of this read function. So I'm going to write here again read with a parameter, or we can say some argument. So I'm going to say data is equal to file dot read. So I call this function. We have called this function earlier also. What it's going to do? It's going to return all the data. We all know that, right? But if I pass here some value, let's say I pass here 5. So what it's going to do? It's going to return only 5 characters from where the pointer was initially. So initially our pointer was at 0 location. So it's going to return only 5 characters. And we know that hello has only 5 characters. So now let's print that data. And you can see that I got only hello, right? And if I just want to get this also, so I can see that hello and 1 is space, 1 is comma 2, and 4 this one. So we have to write 11, right? 4 plus 5 plus 2, 11. Now if I run this code, you can see that I got till this, right? So we can also get some data like this. But here again question arises that, let me show you, if you want to get this text file.txt and you don't want from starting, just you want to get this data, how you can do that? Well, we know that our pointer is going to be start from a 0 location, right? If you opening a file with a read mode, then it's going to be start your pointer with a 0 location. We all know that t is lie at a 15 position, then we can shift our pointer to 15 position by using a lseek function. So here a new function arises which is lseek, and before lseek I will show you one more function which is a tell. So I'm going to say first of all print me a tell file.tell. Now guys, this tell function tell us that what is your current pointer. So if I just comment everything and if I run this code, you guys can see that whenever I am opening a file, my file pointer is at 0 location, right? So now if I just read some data and I am reading a 11 bytes, so if I run this code again, now you can see that I got my file pointer is at 11 position. It has read 0 to 10 and now my file pointer at 11 position. So what if I want to read from this 15 position, means from this t location, then what can I do that guys? I can say that lseek, I'm going to write here file.lseek, and here I can pass my 15 characters. So shift my 0 to 15, and if I comment these 2 lines and if I just say here data is equal to file.read, and after that how many characters I want to read? I want to read this whole line, read text file.txt. So I can say that this is having a 12 character, right? So if I just now write here 12, then it's going to read 12 characters from that particular location, from that particular pointer. So now I want print data, and if I run this code now, before that I want to show you the tail as well, print file.tell, right? So earlier my file pointer at 0 and after that it will tell me that which location now we are having. Now after that it will read 12 characters and it will print that particular character. So if I run this code now, you can see that it getting some error occur, and the error occur is that we don't have lseek, we have only seek function, right? So if I run this code now, and now you can see that earlier my pointer was at 0 location, but when I shifted my with the seek function, I shifted my pointer to 15, then now my pointer lies at a 15 location, and after that I read only 12 character which is text file.txt. So this is how you can read your data. You can read a particular data from a file, hold the data, line by line data, or particular line data by using this read mode. And guys, there's some mode also, read binary, write binary. I have told you in earlier also. Here, let me show you here. So this can also work, but for that also you have some more specialties for this seek function. So guys, here in seek function we have 2 argument as well. One argument, this is how much pointer you want to move. The second argument is 1 and 2. Basically 1 tell us that from your current position move that particular position. Let's say initially my 1 is 0, so I am at a 0 location, then it will going to move till 15. But if I write here 2, then it will move 15 steps from the end. So from that means it is going to stand here at E position and it will move 15 character. from the backward, and then only it's going to start reading. It will only work if you are working on a binary file. It will not going to work for you this normal file, txt file. If you are opening a file in a binary mode, then we can work with them. I will suggest you give a try, use this. If you are not getting that, if you are not able to do with the binary mode, then write in the comment section. I will definitely make a video on binary also. So this is how you can read a data, you can write a data into file. So that's all guys. In this video we have seen how we can read the data, how we can write the data, and we have seen some important function as well. So that's all guys. If you like this video, give a thumbs up to this video and subscribe my channel. Meet you in the next video. Thank you.